Hi everybody, I'm Regina Sellers and I'm the creator of Pro Bow the Hand. This little video that I'm getting ready to show you is how to make bunny feet. I hope that you'll join me and I hope you'll enjoy it and just make little bunnies and bunny feet to your heart's content. Thank you so much. So let's begin. Let me go over the things that we're going to need to make our little bunny foot. The first thing that you're going to do is go to my website, probowthehand.com, and y'all, the pattern is free, okay? This video is free. I really hope you're going to enjoy it. Anyway, this is the little pattern for the bunny feet, the bunny foot. You are going to cut 4. You're out of the fabric. The fabric that you're going to make, which is this, or this is the one that I used. So this is the white fabric. In the list of supplies, it names it. It has a certain name to it. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and you'll see the name of it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It feels luxurious. So anyway, there's your fabric, and you're going to cut 4. You're going to cut 4 of them out. You know, top, bottom of the foot, top, bottom of a foot. So you'll need 4 of these. The next thing you're going to do is, what I want you to do is print this 3 times. So whenever you're printing your pattern, because I'm getting ready to show you what you're going to do with it. So you're going to need 1 pattern with the selvage on it. Okay. The next pattern, you're going to take this and you're going to cut it out. Okay, you're going to cut it out and you're going to cut the selvage off, and you're going to end up with this. Okay, this is what you'll end up with, and I'm going to show you what you're going to do with this. And then after, on the third one, what you're going to do is you're going to fold this. You're just going to fold your bunny pattern in half. Okay, and this is what you're going to do with it. You're going to just trim it. You're going to just trim it kind of like this, and then, you know, cut that edge off. Right here, this bottom line, you're going to cut just about that much above the bottom line, and you're going to end up with this little piece. And I'm going to show you what you're going to do with this. Okay, so you can see this is about how much I trimmed off. Okay, so you're going to end up with 3 little patterns. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut this out now, because I'm going to need this, because I'm going to show you what you're going to do with this. Now, let me trim this too. You just need 1 of these. You need 1 of these. You see how I'm just trimming? I'm cutting the selvage off, and I'm going to show you in a minute what you're going to do with this. You're going to love it. Okay, this is going to make this so easy. Y'all, this video is about hand sewing. I've had so many people that wanted to make the little bunny foot, and they said, well, I've never sewn before, and I don't have a sewing machine. So what in the world am I supposed to do? So this video is showing you how you don't have to have a sewing machine to make the bunny foot. Okay, so you're gonna cut this out, but you're gonna cut this on this edge. Okay, and then that's you're gonna cut 4 of those. Then you need this pattern, you need 1 of these, and then for your third one, and I showed you how to cut that down, and that's what you'll need. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna show y'all what you're gonna do with these in just a moment. Okay, so, and then I cut that out, of course. And I've already cut my material out, okay, just to save it. I mean, that's like watching paint dry. I figured you'd get it by now, okay? We're going to start making our little bunny foot. You can turn that over and lay that like that, and that is the start of how you're going to make your little bunny foot. For the people who don't sew and don't know how to sew, you're going to put, this is the pretty side of your fabric, and then you turn them and they face each other. And then I am going to pin this. You'll need some pins. You might have to buy a little pack of pins if you don't have any. Okay, And so this just doesn't slip on you because we're going to hand sew this. okay? And I want this to just stay together beautifully. I'm gonna show you how to hand sew it. Incredibly easy. You're gonna be able to do this, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna put another pin here. Y'all, I bought my pins. I bought everything at Hobby Lobby. Okay. Just, I can be in Hobby Lobby. Can you imagine how much trouble I'm always in? I can be in Hobby Lobby. But it depends on how many lights there are, how many times I catch the lights. There's only 3 lights between my home and Hobby Lobby. If I catch the lights green, I can be there in 5 minutes. If I catch them red, it takes about 7. Isn't that horrible? So anyway, there we go. I have, now that is ready. That is ready to sew in just a minute. But let me go on and tell you the rest of the supplies that you're going to need. Since we're going to sew this by hand, here's my needle and thread. Okay. You're also going to need a pack of embroidery needles. Y'all, I got this at Hobby Lobby. The brand is Sewology. And let's see. Here's the needle that I used. And the reason why you need these kind of needles is because they have such a large eye, because we're going to be using embroidery thread. I also got this at Hobby Lobby. And you'll just need this kind of needle because I use the whole piece. I don't break this down in any way. We're going to use all of it. You're going to see that little step in just a moment. Okay, so you need the embroidery thread, the pack of needles. You need white thread and a needle. You're going to need, I got this at Hobby Lobby also. This is the white wired wire. Okay, and if you've watched the series and if you've made the bunny ears also, which you probably have, just buy 1 pack of these, and it's good for every for the whole for the ears and the feet. But you'll need this, okay? And you're going to see this in a second. Of course, you're going to need a really good cutting pair of scissors. Bought those at Hobby Lobby. I love them. You're going to need a hot glue gun. Y'all, for this little series, y'all gonna have seen me use this hot glue gun. This is the first time I've ever had one of these. Whenever you're making something very small like this, you'll notice that the hole is smaller. It puts out less hot glue. And y'all, it's been perfect for this little craft that I've done here. So you might enjoy getting yourself a smaller hot glue gun. I've really enjoyed having it. And you'll see that you get the pack of the little sticks, and you can see that they're about half the size of the other the normal hot glue that you get. Y'all, like, this is the Gorilla brand, and y'all, this has just worked wonderfully. Everywhere that I've used the Gorilla brand, it just works fantastic. Okay, you might want to use a lint roller because the fabric is kind of fuzzy, and if you're really OCD like I am, you're going to see I kind of use my lint roller every now and then and get some of this lint off. It works perfectly, okay? We're going to use Scotch tape. You're going to love it. I can't wait to show you what we're going to do with Scotch tape. And you're going to need 1 little piece of y'all, they have several grades of felt at Hobby Lobby. This was 79 cents. Y'all, it was just on sale, half price. And it's the premium. It's the premium grade. And y'all, I've used a lot of different things, and I'm just happiest with this. Okay? So this is what you'll need. There's your fabric. There's your little inner piece that I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. There's your glue, your tape, scissors, thread, pattern. And y'all, last, you're going to need a little bag of polyfill. Got it at Hobby Lobby. Y'all, it's only $2.99. Okay? With doing crafts, you might have a bag of this already, but you're going to use some fiber fill. Okay? And y'all, that's everything. That's everything that you need. And let's get started. Let me get some of these things out of the way till I need them. Okay. Oh, and then let's see, you need a pencil, and I just sharpened my pencil, and I don't see it on the table. there it is. Oh, thank goodness. So there it is. So, y'all, I'm gonna show you what you're gonna do with our pencil. Remember how I said you're gonna cut 4 of these with, this is your fabric, top, bottom of foot, top, bottom of the foot, second foot, okay? So you're gonna cut that out and there, cut your material, okay? So that's out the way. Then you're gonna take your pattern and you only need 1 of these, cut the selvage off. Because if you're sewing this by hand, okay, and maybe you've never sewn before, and you're gonna sew this by hand, and that's going to be incredibly difficult for you to get this straight. So what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do with this little piece of the pattern. You're just going to lay this on here, and with a pencil, and y'all look how great it marks it. It just, you look, I mean, you can see that line. I mean, look how incredibly easy you can see the line. And you're just going to outline. This is, if you're sewing with a sewing machine, of course, you don't have to do this because you're going to use your presser foot or whatever line you want to. But, you know, there's your selvage. If if you're a seamstress and you sew and have a sewing machine, you know, you don't have to do this. Okay. And y'all, when you turn your little foot out, inside out, this doesn't show. That's one of the first things I was a little bit worried about, that this might show, but it doesn't. Okay, so just don't worry about it. Get yourself a real good little line there to follow so you can make a perfect little foot. That'd be extremely hard to get that all straight. Look at that. There's your little foot. Okay, so that is the reason why we cut the selvage off. Okay, so this piece and the pencil, done. Get it out the way. Okay, now we're going to use our needle and thread. Y'all, I've been sewing since I'm about 8 or 9 years old. I enjoy using a tiny, tiny little needle. So you can see how little my needle is, but that's how I like to hand sew. Okay, and I'm going to show y'all this. If maybe you've never sewn before and maybe you've never used a needle and thread, I'm going to show you how to put a knot, the easiest way possible to knot the end of your thread, okay? Because maybe you don't know. And y'all, I'm reaching over, and what I'm doing, because I have a wet paper towel right there, and now I have wet the end of my finger. It helps to do that. Look what you do. You just take your thread, lay it across the end of your finger, go around your finger just once, and with your thumb, roll it off. Just roll it off, and then with this finger, with this fingernail, you come back and you catch that, and you pull it, and it forms a knot. Isn't that wonderful? And there is your knot on the end of your thread, and you can see that just takes a moment. And there's your needle and thread ready to go. Okay. For just time purposes, and this, I don't want this to be like watching paint dry, I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to just show you I'm just going to take a couple of little stitches. To do this, you're going to start right on that edge, and this is one thing I want you to see. I want you to see just how tiny I take. Tiny little stitches, just tiny. Okay, and with this fuzzy material, you're gonna see, and okay, so that's where my thread came out. I'm gonna go back almost right, just almost like I'm not even taking a stitch. I'm just gonna start right where my thread came up, but I just want you to notice just how tiny a stitch I take. Okay, pull your thread. And that's it, y'all. Just take these tiny little stitches. I timed myself the other day. It took me about 2 minutes, okay, to do this. Just tiny little stitches. And for time's sake, I'm not going to talk, because what we're going to do in the video is we're just going to speed this up. So I'll see y'all in just a minute. Okay, so now we are at the end. And for those of y'all maybe who have never sewn by hand, I'm going to show you how to make a knot when you stop. What you're going to do is you're going to just see how my thread came out right there. Okay, I'm going to take a stitch behind it. So I'm just going to take the tiniest little stitch. I'm going to take a stitch, and you see my loop? You see my loop here? I'm not pulling it. What I'm going to do is put my needle through the loop. Okay? And then I'm going to pull. That made a knot. And I'm going to do this about twice. So I just go behind, come up, pull my thread a little, go through both loops, see there? And pull, and that's going to make your knot. And that's how you finish. Now it's really knotted off, and I don't cut it right to the knot. There's no reason to. I'll let a little hang off because it's going to be inside anyway. And that is how we sew our little bunny foot by hand. Now the next thing you're going to want to do, you need to clip around this. And if you've never sewn before, if you want a curve to turn, you have to clip it. You have to clip the selvage. Now, I just want you to notice, please look close. I mean, I'm staying a good 1/8 inch away from my seam. Don't go all the way to the seam, but just clip all around, because that is going to help. I'm going to go into my little point. I want a clip right, and see right there, right into my point. That's going to help my point to really turn, okay? And I'm going to continue just clipping around. That's going to make our seam turn, okay? Because we want it to turn really nice and be pretty, not pointed or whatever. We just want it to be. And this is on a straight. That's straight, so you don't have to clip that. So let's start about here. See the little clips I'm making? Just clip. Okay? Just make sure that you have one clip to the point. There's the point there, and there's a point there. Okay? Now, let's turn our little foot right side out. Okay, and now I'm going to use my finger. I'm using my pointer finger, and I'm working my seam. I'm going to work it on the inside and make it turn, make a nice turn. Okay, kind of work it. You can kind of roll it. See how I'm going to just roll it? I'm rolling that seam right now. I'm rolling the seam on the inside. You can do it that way also. If you see something that kind of wants to start doing a little point, just kind of push it in, roll the seam, make it do what you want it to do. Okay, you can kind of roll the seam. You can put your finger in it and kind of run your seam. Y'all, I'm deciding right now that this is the top of my foot. This is the top, and this is going to be the bottom. What I'm doing right now, if I'm going to put my finger in here and do this, and I'm going to roll this seam, kind of make this open, I'm putting my finger on top of the selvage. My finger's running on the top of the selvage, okay? I'm making the selvage go down. And that's going to help it turn pretty. Look at that. Look at the pretty little turn. See the little indentions? They're just perfect. Okay? Now, another thing that I want you to notice, because we sewed this and it's fuzzy fabric. Okay, you see how it's some of the little fuzzies are caught in the seam? Just run your fingernail across it. Run your fingernail across your seam, and it's going to pull your little fuzzies out of the seam. Okay, see how that helped? Oh, that helped a whole lot. You want to hide that seam. Whenever you're looking straight on it, your little bunny feet, you just want to see a little fur. You want to see his little fur. You don't want to see his little fur caught up in that seam. Okay? All the way down the sides. And you see, look at that. Look how nice that comes out. Okay, you just run your fingers across your thumb. Y'all, I'm running. I have very little bit. Y'all, I keep my fingernails cut off because I'm constantly doing something. You know, if I'm going somewhere, I'll have a manicure. Um, Y'all, I know my hands and my fingernails look terrible, but I'm just too busy doing stuff to do that. If I go somewhere, I'll get a manicure. Okay, look at that. It's perfect. It's perfect. I see. Let's see. I want to roll this just a little bit. Make sure that seam comes out there. Okay, that's kind of looking a little flat right there. I'm not kind of liking that. I'm gonna stick my finger in here and kind of push out on that seam and make it roll and make it turn a little better for me. Okay, that's better. That's better. I'm liking that better. Okay. Let's see. I want this to roll out right there. It's not turning quite like I want it to. Now, that's better. And y'all, there's my nap. I want the nap of my little foot going out, not up. See how smooth it is? And there we go. It is all sewn together, and we're ready for our next step. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to cut out, remember this little piece? I told you to fold it over and create this little piece. Okay, we're going to just cut one of these out. If you, I've already made the other little foot. You would need two. You would need two pieces like this. Wait till you see what we do with this. I'm sorry, I just said the wrong thing. You need two of these. I'm so glad I caught myself. You need two of these. You need two little pieces like this for each foot. Oh, I'm so glad I caught myself. I said the wrong thing. Two pieces of this for each foot. So there's 1, 2. Glad I caught myself. I was going through whenever I said, wait till you see what we do with this, it just went through my mind. It was like, oh, wait, you need two. You need two. So let's get that out of the way. We're going to use 2 pieces of this. You're going to love it. Can't wait to show you what we're going to do with this. Okay, 2 pieces. 2 pieces of the little felt. And let's clean our table up just a little bit. So I don't want just to keep all this fuzzies in you. I want a clean little background for each step that we do. Y'all, look how, is that wonderful? I mean, it just takes it all up. Now you don't have anything flying around your craft room. Okay, perfect. Now, here's our 2 little pieces of felt. We're going to take 2 pieces of our wire. We need 2 pieces of this. Come on, wire, get out of there. 2 pieces. The reason why we need 2 pieces is, let's see, let's find the center. Let's put them together. Let's find the center about right there. And let's start bending. Just a nice little bend. Nice little bend. And we're going to take this wire, and it doesn't have to fit. I mean, if you want to, if you're really OCD, like I am, I'm terribly OCD. You can make your wire go all the way and fit right out to the edge. It really isn't necessary, but just cause we'll just kind of do it that way for this. And we're going to put a piece of Scotch tape on that, because we're going to hold it in place. Okay. Let's turn this. Let's make our 2 little pieces of wire turn. Okay. Y'all, the reason why we're doing this is this is creating the way that we are going to be able to attach our foot, our bunny foot, to the bunny itself. Okay, and you want your 2 little pieces of wire to come together at the end. Okay, and this is leaving just enough, plenty enough to attach your little foot to your bunny. And you see how your wire's all in there? Now you're going to take hot glue and you're going to put it all over the top of that. So that's why you needed 2 pieces. Because we're going to put hot glue all over this. And y'all, I'm not stingy with the hot glue here. Okay, you can see how I put, oh, stay in place there. Kind of moved on me. Set one little piece on top of the other. Ta-da! And you won't burn yourself. Okay, I got one little spot on my cloth. Y'all, we put down this green. We did this, we filmed this before, and it was on my white table, and I watched the video, and I was like, good heavens, it's white on white. You can't even see what I'm doing. Y'all, so this is the second time we filmed this. We totally started over because I just did not like how it looked. So we put this green down so you can really see what I'm doing. Okay, and you see how this little piece is just made, and it's all hot glued. You can see I did not skimp on the hot glue. So I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of letting this dry. I want to just let this dry for a minute. I need this to be good and dry. Let's let it dry there for a minute. Okay, it's still warm. I can feel it. It's still really warm. Okay, because you're going to see in a minute what I'm going to do with this. And it's really warm. It's drying pretty quick. Y'all, whenever whenever you're doing this, you can tell by touching it, whenever it's not warm anymore, it's dried in there, okay? So I'm gonna let that dry for just a minute, and Dave is we're gonna edit this, and we're gonna edit this part out. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Okay, our little piece has dried. It just took like a couple of minutes or so, but I didn't think y'all wanted to sit here and watch it. We edited that out. Okay, what you're gonna do now is just carefully curl this. Carefully just curl it up because you need to get this into the foot. Okay, you see how I've curled it over? I'm opening my foot up and I'm sticking it in. And there it went. And now what I'm going to do, y'all, it easily unfolds. Believe me, it wants to unfold. Okay, so now it completely unfolded, and now it's in my foot, and I'm going to push it all the way to the top. And now what I'm going to do with my finger is make sure that my selvage I want my selvage to be behind it. So you see how I'm working this? I'm taking my selvage and I'm pushing it behind the little piece. I can feel, and you'll be able to feel it. See how I'm doing that? My selvage is going behind this little piece. I'm pushing it underneath it, okay? Because I want my selvage to be on the back of my little foot. It's just going to give me a prettier little look to the top of my foot if your selvage is to the back. And everybody, if you've sewn, you're gonna know exactly what I mean by that. Okay, now it's ready, and we're gonna stuff it. Okay, y'all, here's your fiber foam, or your fiber fill, I should say. It's your fiber fill. I put in little bunches at a time, and you just open it up and start sticking it in. Okay, and I'm gonna stick it. My first little bunch, I'm going to stick it all the way to the front. Y'all, you just start working it with your finger, and you just start making it turn nice, working that selvage, making sure your selvages are turning really pretty. See how you can see how I'm pushing my finger. Watch, you can see my finger moving there. I've got I'm pushing that fiber foam that is underneath my fingernail, okay? And I'm pushing my fiber. I keep saying fiber foam, my fiber fill. I'm pushing my fiber fill to the front of my little foot. And you can see it. You can tell by how much I've used. It doesn't take a whole lot, okay? And you can see the end of my finger pass there. I'm pushing my fiber fill all the way to the end, okay? Look at that. You see how you can definitely see, you see the little indentions? See the indentions? That's what you want for your little foot, okay? And you can see how poofy it is there on the end. We're gonna put another piece because we want it poofy all the way to the end. We're gonna stick this in here and just fill it up nicely. Look at that. Is that cute as that can be? Didn't that work out well? I'm going to take my finger. This is looking a little flat right there. I'm going to push some more fiber fill to the end. I want that to round out a little bit more. You can kind of work it. Just work it till it looks like you want it to. And that's it. And isn't that cute? Isn't that cute as it can be? There's your little foot. Okay? There's your little foot and it's done. Let's see. Going down and down. There. You kind of work your fiber. Okay, we're done. Okay, now you want to turn under your selvage. Just going to turn it under. Remember where the black line was? See that black line? That's your selvage. That's the amount that I'm turning under. And you see it's just rolling. It's just rolling in. I'm going to pull my little wire out to each end, let that roll in, and that's that. Okay? Now, you can either stitch this or you can hot glue it. Okay? Either way. You can stitch it or hot glue it. Let's see, where is my needle and thread? I think, no, I'm going to go ahead. It's just going to take a moment. I think I'm just going to run a little hot glue. For those of y'all that don't sew very much, I want you to see that you can just put this together with hot glue, okay? I just ran a little hot glue in here. Not a whole lot, y'all. I just ran some hot glue, and now I'm just going to hold it, and we're going to let that dry. And the only thing that we have left to do is stitch our little indentions, okay, with our embroidery thread. Okay, y'all, didn't this come out just cute as it can be? Oh, I'm sitting here messing with it and I'm not holding it closed. Pay attention, Regina. Hold it closed. Let the glue dry. I think that's going to work. I think that's long enough. I think that'll do. And there's your little foot. What do y'all think? There's the little foot. I think that's good. Let me just kind of roll it. Let me press it one more time. Make sure that glue really catches. Because I really am hurrying it along here. That hot glue just really drying enough. It's still just a tad warm. You can tell whenever it's really dry, you can't feel any warmth, and it's still a tad, but I think it's going to be enough for us to move on. Okay, then now the only thing left to do is put in your little indentions. And here I've threaded my needle, my embroidery needle. Okay, There's all my little threads. I'm gonna wet the end of my finger, and I'm gonna wet this just a little bit. Okay, you see how, y'all? I'm reaching over because I'm touching a wet piece of I have a little wet cloth there. So anyway, I'm gonna lay this here. I'm gonna come around my finger, and y'all, you roll it. Don't put it too tight, because then sometimes you have to kind of help it start, and see how it's starting to roll. And then you come at this finger and pull, and you got yourself a big old knot. And y'all, that will not come undone. Okay, so there's your embroidery thread, and here we go. Now what you can do, because I put the two little dots, see how I put two little dots on, let me use a colored pen so that you can see it. You can take your little pattern, if you'd like, at this point, and lay it on top if you want to, but I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna put one here and one here. And I think that, let's see, that one needs to come back just a tad, okay? And then I'm gonna go to here, and we're gonna make our indentions. Okay, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna start from the bottom. And if you want to, you can push your pen all the way through, you know, if you're not experienced with sewing. But I can from the, y'all have been doing this for eons. But you wanna do this from the bottom because you want your knot to be on the bottom. So you just do like that. I'm gonna take that pin out now. Pull your embroidery thread, wrap it around right in that seam, and pull. And now from the underneath, oh, look, okay. Look, my embroidery thread got caught around that. Thank goodness I caught that. Would have messed it up. Let it go around that seam. And from the back, you want to go right where that knot is and come back up exactly in the same spot. And y'all, this is really easy to do. This isn't difficult at all. And you see how I'm pulling? But we're going to do this 2 or 3 times. And you see it's going to build up the color, and you're going to be able to see it. And you see I'm coming with my needle right in the exact same spot one more time, and come through. Come on through there. Let's see. I kind of missed my spot. There it is. There's my spot. It's kind of hard because I've done it so many times. Okay, and now we're going to wrap it around one more time. Look how, because you want to do it enough times so that you can really see that you've done that. Okay, I did it 3 times, I do believe. Now we're going to come to the back, and to knot this off, because now you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to finish this? And like I said, if you've never sewn before, what I'm going to do is, with my needle, I'm coming underneath all of the thread. I'm not going into the fabric. Okay, I'm going underneath all of the thread. I'm making that loop, and I'm going to pull, and it made a nice knot. It's going to make me a nice knot. Okay, you have to do it a couple of times. This is real silky thread, and it's going to take a couple of times for it to really want to knot. So let's do this again. Through and through. Okay, let's do it one more time, because like I said, it's real silky, so it's sliding on itself. Underneath, through, and pull. And that's your really nice knot. And because this is so silky and not wanting a hole on itself, I am going to put just a little drop of hot glue on it, because we never want this to come undone. And that's it. And I'm going to cut this, and while that's drying, I'm going to thread my needle again. And all we have left to do is do this one more time, and our little foot is made. Y'all, how incredibly easy is that? To sew a little foot. And you don't have to, let me wet my thread again. I got a little wet, I got a little piece of wet paper towel there. Okay, wet it. You wet it so you can make it flat so you can get it through the eye. Okay, see how easy that was? And there, it all went through. Here, I'm coming to the end. I didn't get that quite even. Let's pull this. You want them even. Put this over your finger. Go around, roll. Make sure it rolls. It has to roll. And there's your knot. When you pull down, you're going to have a knot. Okay, there you go. You be careful because that's not quite dry. I don't want to touch it. Let's come from the back. I'm eyeballing it from the back. Let's turn it over. Yep, I got it even. See, you want it to look kind of even. There it does. I'm going to come up. Okay, I'm up through where that pin was and pull it up. See how I pulled my thread? I'm just making all my thread be even. Go over. Y'all, I'm trying not to touch that hot glue. It's not, yeah, it's dry by now. Okay, I'm coming up in the exact same spot. See how I'm hitting it? I'm just hitting it dead on. You want to go through the exact same spot each time. Or get it as close as you possibly can. Pull through, pull, because you want to tighten it. Because look how we have really accentuated the little feet to our bunny. And that's for one thing, you want to add the color here, but you're accentuating his little toes. Let's go through one more time. See, I'm hitting that right on. Y'all, the needle goes through all of this so easy. Okay, I'm going to turn it over and let's make our knot. I'm going through all of the thread. You see that little circle there, that loop? There. That's the beginning of our knot. Like I said, this, because it's so silky, this normally will just tie. If you're using just regular thread, that'll tie. But since this is so silky, it's wanting to slide on itself. So we're going to do this about 3 times. And see how hard I pulled? And I'm going to add hot glue on it. Boom. And y'all, we don't have to worry about how this looks because when we put our little feet on our bunny rabbit, they kind of go down. So if this little knot, we don't have to worry about what this, you want to do this absolutely as neat as possible. But I mean, it is a knot, and you want it to knot up really well. So that's okay. You're not going to see this. And y'all, that's it. Our little foot is made. How cute is that? Don't you just love it? I just love these little feet. Okay, let's get all of this out of the way. And I'm going to show you how you're going to attach this to your bunny. I don't want to put this down yet. This is drying. I got a little hot glue back there. Dry, dry, dry. Okay. Come on, dry. I think that's going to be okay. All right. What you're going to do is you're going to open up your little pieces of wire. Y'all, I've already made one little foot. And what I'm going to do is one piece of wire goes around the back, one over. And you kind of really split them. Okay? You really you split them like this. Okay? Because I'm going to sit my bunny foot right slap dab in the middle of my ring, right next to my other foot. I want his little feet together. And I mean, you might want to separate them. That's fine. I've just put them just right together. And y'all, you 2 pieces of wire, you just pull them around the back and twist them. Okay. So you see how I've just pulled them around the back, and all I'm doing is just twisting them. Oh, went the wrong way. And you just twist. Y'all, that's all there is to it. I mean, how super simple is that? So your little wire is there so that you can attach your little feet to your bunny. And then y'all, look, you take your white wire, just completely dies into your little fur, pull your little fur up around it. You can go to the back, twist it off, and y'all, that's all there is to it. Okay. Now, what I do with this wire is, because you don't want this scratching up on anything that you put it on. I just roll it over. I just roll it, and I just kind of roll it on itself and roll and just gently roll it. And I'm getting the ends of my wire, and I kind of just open this up and make a little bed, kind of like make a little bed for it, and kind of just push it down into the fabric. And I just kind of pull the little poofies over it, and y'all, look, it disappeared. Isn't that wonderful? Now let's do our other one. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut some of this off. Don't need all of that. And take your end piece and just turn it under. And you can see that it just turns under really easily. And roll. Open up your little fibers. And your little fibers are going to completely, if you want to, you can put a little drop of hot glue over it. I'm just pushing it down into the fabric, and you could put a little drop of hot glue if you want to. I don't find it necessary, because I roll, and there are your feet attached to your little bunny. So that's it, y'all. That's all there is to it. Just easy as it can be. I had so many people, the very first time that I did this, they were like, well, I can't make it because I don't know how to sew. Because the first ones I sewed it on a sewing machine. So anyway, I wanted you to see that you can hand stitch this just as easy as if you sew it on the sewing machine, and it comes out exactly the same. So there we are. You got a bunny with some little feet. And y'all, the reason why I make the bows so big and I put all the tails, I make because I want to cover up this big void here. So that's why I put all the beautiful long tails to my bow, and I curl them up, and I let the longest one just kind of sit on the tip of right here, and then I let his feet just kind of just show. So anyway, that's why I do that, and that is it. I hope you all have enjoyed this, and I hope you will go and make some bunny feet. Thank y'all so much for watching, and bye for now.